everyone, it's Laura, and I hope you're all doing well. So for those of y'all who are new to my channel, I'm a registered dietitian, and I thought today I would make a video for those of y'all who are looking for your first job right out of school. And I know in our profession, kind of the stigma is that it's hard to get your first job. And it can be, however, with that being said, I feel like that's the case with a lot of different professions. But I thought I would give y'all my tips for those of y'all who are looking for your first job, things to bring up in the interview and things to ask in your interview. And so if you're interested, then keep watching. So my first recommendation, I did this. Right out of my internship, I moved to New York City, and I went on job interviews that weren't my favorite first. So if you have 2 job interviews, I recommend going on the one that you don't like as much first. So you get a lot of your qualms out of the way. You learn your wording, you learn what you're gonna say, and if you're gonna mess up, you're gonna mess up on the one you don't care as much about. And I did that. I actually went on a job interview for an insurance company, and that was my first interview, and I knew I didn't really want to work there, but I wanted the experience, and worst case scenario, at least I was going to have a job, you know, I really needed a job. And so I went on that interview first. So then when I went on my second and third interviews, I wasn't as nervous. I knew what I was going to say and things like that. So I highly encourage you, don't let your favorite job be your first interview. Unless you know you're going to get it. You know, the hospital I used to work at, we hire interns all the time, you know, and like, if they're an intern and we know they want a job and we really like them, we're upfront about it. You know, we say like, we'd love for you to work here, you know, so if when they come to interview, they already know they have the job. But you know what I mean? If there's a job that you don't really know anyone there, you're not really sure if you're gonna get it, then do one that's less important first. So the next thing I did is which some people may think this is extreme, but I would rather over prepare than not be prepared and feel stupid. So I went online, looked up frequently asked questions in job interviews, and I printed them out and I answered them out loud. So I read, you know, if it was, what do you think is your best quality? Then I would look in the mirror and I would say what I thought my best quality is, and I would say it out loud, not just think it. And I think that really helped me prepare, because a lot of the questions, you may not get the exact same question, but a lot of them are very similar. The other thing that I do during job interviews, not this past one because I wasn't nervous, but because the more you do, the less nervous you get, you know. But one of my advisors in my internship taught me this when I public speak, but I also do it randomly other times and in job interviews and stuff. She taught me to, when I'm sitting there interviewing or, you know, presenting, to pinch your leg. And so this kind of takes away some of the focus from your nerves, you know, and you're focusing a little bit on this pain that you're inflicting on your leg. But I promise, it really, really did help me. That's why I'm bringing it up now. But I just sit there, and not like hard enough to have bruises up your leg, you know, but I would just sit there and just hold it. And it kind of keeps your hands from shaking, you know, because one hand is pinching your leg, and so the other one is, you know, you're not like, so yeah, it's just a little side one that an advisor taught me, and I use it all the time. So things to ask during your job interview, you know, when they're like, do you have any questions for us, you know? So of course, what a typical day is like, that's always a good question. Another question is ask about autonomy. So for instance, how much of your job is based on someone else? So do you need a physician to put orders in for you? Which orders can you put in yourself? How much autonomy do you have from your boss? You know, is she pretty chill, or is she more of a hands-on boss? I wasn't say micromanager, but you know, how hands-on and hands-off are your bosses? Ask about annual raises. So ask if there's annual pay bumps every year. That's a big one. Ask about a clinical ladder. So if you achieve certain things, will you move up the ladder? Do those increases come with pay bumps? Do they pay for licensure and certifications? Do they pay for continuing education? Because I've had jobs that reimburse for all that and have jobs that reimburse for none of it, and that's kind of a big deal. So my last tip is just to be willing to try anything. You know, be willing to work anywhere, be willing to move anywhere. You know, your first job isn't your forever job. You know, just because your first job isn't in your ideal place doesn't mean you're going to be there forever. You know, you can get your foot in the door. You can be there 6 months, a year. I was at my first job for a year and a half, or a little over a year and a half. And then I switched jobs. You know, like, just because your first job isn't exactly where you want to be for forever, don't let it keep you from starting your first job. You know, like, if you accept a job and it's not really like perfect for you, which no job is perfect, but you feel like you can find a better job, go ahead and accept that job, because that other job may not come up for another year. You know, like, one of my best friends, that happened to her. She really wanted to be an outpatient oncology dietitian, and a job was promised her, but she was smart and took the job at my hospital, and that job didn't come up, the outpatient oncology job, even though it was told to her that, you know, it was about to come up and that she was going to get it. It didn't come up for another year. And so, you know, thank God she took the job at the hospital. Those are my pieces of advice. I hope they help you out. Good luck in the job interviewing process. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And I'll see y'all soon. Bye.